Sweat-soaked Marcus Tate's shirt as he chanted for justice in Westbridge's sweltering City Hall Square, fist high, crowd roaring. Another black teen shot dead. Chief Vernon Holt strode to the podium, eyes glinting, and sneered, "That thug Marcus stirs trouble." Gasps rippled. Mid-sentence Holt's phone buzzed. Governor's name flashed, his voice cracked, face pale. Marcus stared, pulse racing. The call cut off. Holt fled. A win? Trouble loomed. What spooked Holt? Before we dive deeper, let me know where you're watching from. If you stand for justice, hit like and subscribe because tomorrow's episode will blow you away. Marcus Tate jolted awake in his Westbridge bedroom, the Alabama sun barely cracking the blinds, his phone buzzing like a hornet's nest on his nightstand. It was 6 in the morning, and the air already felt 90 degrees, sticky with July's grip. Lena, his wife, stirred beside him, mumbling about coffee. He grabbed the phone, squinting at the screen. 30 missed calls, 50 texts. His inbox overflowed with notifications, each one screaming urgency. His stomach twisted as he tapped the first message from his cousin Ray. "Man, you're all over the news!" Marcus's heart thudded. He opened a video link, and there it was, Chief Vernon Holt's sneering face from yesterday's City Hall clash, his voice dripping venom. "That thug Marcus stirs trouble." The clip cut to Marcus in the crowd, fist raised, eyes burning with defiance, unaware he'd been branded for ruin. The local station, WBRG News, had looped it all night, and now it was viral, racking up 2 million views. Comments flooded in, some cheering Marcus as a hero, others spewing slurs that made his jaw clench. He scrolled, pulse racing, seeing his name trending on social media. Hashtags like Justice for Westbridge and Marcus the Thug battling for dominance. Lena sat up, sensing his tension, and peeked over his shoulder. Her breath caught. "They're talking about you like you're MLK or a gangbanger. What's this mess?" Marcus didn't know, but a spark flared in his chest. Maybe this was his moment to push harder for the teen gunned down last week, a kid named Trayvon who'd begged for his life as cops fired. He kissed Lena's forehead, promising to handle it, and headed to his auto shop 3 miles away, the phone still buzzing with support. Customers packed the lot by 8, honking, waving signs that read, "Marcus speaks truth." Old Miss Clara from church hugged him, her arthritis-swollen hands trembling with pride. "You're our voice, baby," she whispered. His chest swelled. He hadn't asked for this, but it felt right. By noon, his voicemail was full. Radio hosts wanting interviews, activists offering legal help, even a preacher from Montgomery, promising a prayer vigil. Marcus's head spun. He'd spent 10 years keeping his head down since his brother died in a police chokehold, but now Westbridge saw him, really saw him. He texted Ray back, joking about needing a secretary, but his fingers shook. Something big was brewing and he wasn't sure he was ready. Then a crash shattered the moment. Glass sprayed across the shop's waiting room, a brick skidding too. A stop by the coffee machine. Customers screamed, ducking behind chairs. Marcus ran to the broken window, heart hammering, and saw the words scratched into the red clay brick. "Go back to Africa." His blood boiled. A couple of teens across. The street snickered, then bolted when he stepped outside. He called the cops, voice steady despite the rage clawing his throat. 2 officers rolled up an hour later, both white, their badges glinting in the sun. The taller one, Officer Griggs, barely glanced at the brick, tossing it in his palm like a baseball. "Probably kids messing around," he drawled, scribbling half a note. "You know how it is." Marcus stared, disbelief burning his gut. "Kids don't write that," he said, pointing at the slur. Griggs shrugged, already halfway, to his cruiser. "File a report if you want, don't expect much." They peeled out, leaving Marcus in a cloud of dust, the crowd whispering nervously. Lena arrived, eyes wide, and gripped his arm. "This is because of yesterday," she said, voice low. Marcus nodded, jaw tight. Holt's words had lit a fuse, and this was the first spark. He wouldn't back down. By dusk, he'd made up his mind. Westbridge needed to see he wasn't scared. He called every contact he had. Ray, Miss Clara, the preacher, even the radio host. They planned a bigger protest for tomorrow, a march from the shop to City Hall, demanding Holt's badge and answers for Trayvon. Marcus stayed up past midnight, sketching signs on cardboard, his son Jamal helping with markers, oblivious to the wait. "We gonna win, Dad?" Jamal asked, gap-toothed grin wide. Marcus ruffled his hair, forcing a smile. "Yeah, little man. We got this." The next morning, the march was electric. 500 people flooded Main Street, black, white, young, old, their voices shaking the pavement. Marcus led, megaphone in hand, shouting for justice, his heart pounding with purpose. News vans lined the route, cameras catching every step, every chant. "No more Trayvons!" echoed off brick storefronts. Sweat stung his eyes, but he felt alive, unstoppable. The crowd swelled to 1,000 by the time they hit City Hall, fists pumping, signs high. A reporter shoved a mic in his face, asking why he kept fighting. Marcus looked into the lens, voice steady. "Because nobody else will." That clip hit the evening news, shared across the country, his face plastered on every screen. He drove home, Lena beaming beside him, Jamal asleep in the back. For a moment he believed they'd turned a corner. Holt's insult had backfired and Westbridge was rising. Then his phone pinged. A new video was trending, this one with his name in all caps. He tapped play, expecting more protest footage, but froze. The screen showed Marcus smashing a store window, grabbing cash, running from sirens. The timestamp claimed it was last night. His hands shook. It was fake, every pixel a lie, but it looked real. His clothes, his walk, even his scowl, matched perfectly. Comments piled up. "Fraud! Thug for real! Lock him up!" His stomach dropped. Lena gasped, clutching his arm. "That ain't you," she whispered, but doubt crept into her eyes, not in him, but in what this meant. Marcus refreshed. The page. The video had 3 million views already. Supportive texts stopped coming. The radio host cancelled tomorrow's interview. Miss Clara called, voice trembling. "Folks are talking, Marcus. They don't know what to believe." He tried to explain, but the line crackled. She hung up. Hate mail flooded his inbox, each message uglier than the last, slurs he hadn't heard since childhood. "I'll pay for fooling us," one read. Signed WBRG Patriot. Marcus's throat tightened. He checked the shop's security cams. Nothing from last night matched the video. He called the reporter who'd filmed the march, begging her to clarify he'd been home, but she dodged, citing credibility concerns. By midnight, his phone was silent, the house too quiet. Lena sat across from him, eyes red. "Who did this?" she asked. Marcus didn't answer, but his mind flashed to Holt. He pictured the chief in his precinct office, feet up, watching the chaos unfold. The next morning, Marcus drove to the shop, expecting a crowd, but found only graffiti on the shutters. Liar. Customers stayed away, their cars bypassing his lot for the chain garage across town. He sat alone in the office, replaying the deepfake, searching for flaws, but it was airtight. His savings wouldn't last a month without business. Jamal's school fees were due, and Lena's nurse shifts couldn't cover it all. He punched the desk, knuckles stinging, and scrolled social media, where memes mocked him, his face on a bandit's body, captioned "Westbridge's finest." The protest's fire was gone, replaced by whispers of betrayal. Then Ray called, voice urgent. "I got a buddy who traced that video's IP. Guess where it leads?" Marcus gripped the phone, dread pooling in his gut. "Where?" Ray paused, then said, "City server, police domain." Marcus's breath caught. Holt. It had to be. He imagined the chief laughing at a precinct meeting, his deputies nodding like wolves planning the next hit. The brick was a warning, the cops shrug a flex. But this was war. Marcus stood, resolve hardening. He wouldn't let Holt bury him, not yet. But as he locked the shop, a chill hit him. If Holt could fake a video this good, what else was coming? His phone buzzed again, a new email, no sender name, just one line. "Quit now, or it gets worse." Marcus Tate hunched over his laptop in the dim office of his Westbridge auto shop. The Alabama night thick with humidity, crickets chirping beyond the shattered window from last week's brick. It was 11 at night, 3 days since the deepfake. Video painted him as a looter, tanking his protest's momentum. His eyes burned from staring at pixelated lies. His face, his walk, smashing a store window that never happened. The shop's phone hadn't rung all day. Customers ghosted him, their trust curdled by viral hate. Lena was picking up extra nurse, shifts to cover Jamal's school fees, her texts sharp with worry. "We're bleeding cash, Marcus, fix this." He rubbed his temples, replaying the call from Ray, his cousin, who'd traced the fake video to a police server. Proof Holt was behind it. Marcus's gut churned. Chief Vernon Holt, with his polished badge and snake's grin, wasn't just insulting him now. He was rigging the game. Marcus needed to hit back. He dialed Tasha, a tech whiz from high school, who'd hacked her way into a cybersecurity gig in Birmingham, 60 miles north. Her voice crackled through, skeptical but curious. "You're saying Holt's boys faked a whole video? That's next-level dirty." Marcus begged her to dig, promising to owe her big. By dawn, Tasha delivered a zip file with server logs, IP trails, even a deleted email from Holt's deputy ordering a special project the night the video dropped. Marcus's heart raced. This was dynamite. He uploaded the proof to social media at 7 in the morning, typing a caption with shaky fingers. "They lied to bury me. Here's the truth." He hit post, held his breath, and waited. By 9, his phone exploded. Retweets, shares, notifications piling up like leaves in a storm. The post hit 10,000 likes in an hour, then 50,000. Comments flooded. "Holt's done." "Marcus, you're a king." News blogs picked it up, splashing headlines. Westbridge chief linked to deepfake scandal. Marcus stood in his empty shop, sunlight glinting off wrenches, and let himself grin. Customers trickled back by noon, some apologizing, others fist-bumping him. Miss Clara hobbled in, her church hat tilted proud, and handed him a peach cobbler. "Knew you wasn't no thief," she said. His chest loosened. He was climbing back. Social media lit up with new hashtags. Expose Holt. Jer Marcus fights. A local. DJ spun a track sampling Holt's thug slur, remixed with Trayvon's name, the teen shot dead weeks ago. Marcus felt the city pulse again like it had at the march. He called Ray, voice steady. "We're back, man." Ray laughed, but warned, "Holt ain't the type to eat dirt." Marcus brushed it off, high on momentum. He planned a new march for tomorrow, straight to the precinct this time, no megaphone. Just bodies demanding Holt's badge. He spent the day painting signs with Jamal, who scrawled "Truth Wins" in red marker, his 10-year-old hands smudged with pride. Lena came home, saw the buzz online, and hugged Marcus tight, her eyes soft for the first time in days. "You're doing it," she whispered. He nodded, believing it. Midnight crashed it all to hell. Tires screeched outside the shop, red and blue lights stabbing through the dark. Marcus was locking up when the door splintered. SWAT in black. Vests, rifles raised, screaming, "Down now!" He froze, hands high, heart slamming his ribs. Boots stomped, glass crunched, tools clattered as they tore the place apart. A gloved hand shoved him to the concrete, knee on his back, cuffs biting his wrists. "Drug tip," a faceless voice barked. Marcus choked out, "I don't do drugs." Nobody listened. He twisted, glimpsing baggies tossed from a cop's pocket. Onto his workbench, white powder planted, gleaming under flashlights. His stomach plummeted. This was Holt, no question. Lena's voice cut through, screaming, filming from the sidewalk, her phone live-streaming to thousands. "They're framing him," she yelled, shoving past a deputy who grabbed her arm. Marcus shouted her name, helpless, as they dragged him to a van. The crowd outside grew, phones up, catching every second. His cuffs, the baggies, Lena's tears. Social media erupted again, this time with Dr. Free Marcus trending by 1 in the morning. At the station, they booked him, mugshot flash blinding, then tossed him in a cell reeking of bleach. His lawyer, a pro bono guy named Carl, got him out on bail by dawn, citing Lena's video as evidence of a setup. Marcus stumbled into daylight, free but rattled, greeted by a crowd chanting his name. News vans swarmed, mics in his face. "Hero or criminal?" one headline blared. The live stream had hit 1 million views. Lena's quick thinking saved him. Supporters packed his lot again, dropping donations, vowing to march. Marcus hugged Jamal, who clung to him, scared but quiet. He felt untouchable, like he'd dodged a bullet. Holt's plan flopped. Nobody bought the drug lie now. He leaned into Lena, whispering, "We got him." She nodded, but her eyes flicked to the shop. Trashed, oil cans leaking, tires slashed. They drove home, planning to rebuild, unaware the real hit was coming. That afternoon, a city inspector knocked, a white guy in a cheap suit, clipboard shaking. He handed Marcus a notice, voice flat. "Code violations, license revoked, effective immediately." Marcus blinked, paper crumpling in his fist. What violations? The guy listed nonsense. Faulty wiring, unsafe storage. None of it true. Marcus argued, voice rising, but the inspector walked off muttering about orders. Lena checked the city website. Holt's cronies on the council had fast-tracked the vote last night, while Marcus sat in a cell. His shop was dead, no appeal allowed. Customers vanished again, spooked by the violations. Bills piled up, rent, Jamal's school, Lena's car note. Marcus stood in the empty lot, sun scorching his neck, and saw his life unraveling. The march was still on, but doubts crept in. Could he lead with nothing left? He checked his phone. Hate comments spiked again, calling him a drug lord loser. A text from Ray confirmed it. The revocation vote was at Holt's private club. Councilmen laughing over whiskey. Marcus pictured Holt there, tie loose, toasting his ruin. His knuckles whitened. This wasn't just a shop. It was his father's dream, rebuilt after his brother's death. Now it was ash without flames. He kicked a stray bolt, pain shooting up his leg, and vowed to fight. But as he locked the gate, a chill hit him. Holt wasn't done. What happens when a man with a badge can burn your world and walk away grinning? If you're raging at Holt's dirty tricks, comment one below. Smash that like button and subscribe to see Marcus fight back, because this story's about to twist hard. Will Marcus expose Holt's next move, or is something even uglier waiting? Marcus Tate sat in his Westbridge living room, the Alabama heat pressing against the windows, a fan rattling uselessly in the corner. It was 10 days since the city yanked his auto shop's license, leaving his lot empty, tools gathering dust. The clock read 7 in the morning, but sleep hadn't come. Bills stacked on the coffee table, Jamal's school fees past due, Lena's overtime barely denting the debt. His phone stayed quiet now. No customers, no supporters, just the echo of Part 3's raid, SWAT tearing his shop apart, planting drugs, Lena's live stream his only lifeline. The deepfake's lies still lingered online, but Tasha's proof had clawed back some trust. Marcus stared at the ceiling, replaying the city inspector's smirk, the council's vote to kill his business, all tied to Chief Vernon Holt's shadow. He wasn't done fighting. Lena walked in, coffee mug steaming, her nurse scrubs wrinkled from a double shift. "You're brooding," she said, voice soft but firm. Marcus nodded, rubbing his knuckles, still sore from punching the shop wall. "Yesterday." "Can't let Holt win," he muttered. She sat beside him, pulling up a number on her phone. "Call Denise, she's good." Denise Carter was a black lawyer from Mobile, 40 years old, known for suing crooked cops and winning. Marcus hesitated. Lawyers cost money, they didn't have, but Lena's eyes held no doubt. He dialed. Denise answered on the second ring, voice sharp like she'd been up for hours. "Heard about your raid, Marcus. That's textbook abuse. You in?" His pulse quickened. "Yeah, let's do it." By noon he was in her cramped office 90 miles away, walls lined with law books, a photo of Malcolm X glaring from the desk. Denise leaned forward, glasses low, dissecting Lena's live stream frame by frame. SWAT tossing baggies, deputies smirking. Marcus cuffed on his own floor. "This is gold," she said, tapping a pen. "We sue the city for wrongful raid, defamation, lost income. Holt's fingerprints are all over it." Marcus exhaled, hope flickering. They filed the lawsuit that afternoon, demanding his license back and damages for the setup. Denise worked fast, digging up Tasha's server logs from Part 2, linking the deepfake to Holt's precinct, and pairing it with the raid's brutality. Marcus drove home, the 90-mile stretch blurring as he imagined his shop alive again. Jamal's future secure. The case hit the news by evening, blogs calling it Westbridge's Reckoning. Supporters shared the story, hashtags like Justice for Marcus trending again. He felt the tide turning. 2 weeks later, they stood in a mobile courtroom, air thick with tension. The judge, a grey-haired white man who frowned at Holt's lawyer like he smelled a lie. Denise was relentless, playing Lena's video on a big screen. Gasps rippled as baggies hit the workbench. A deputy's hand caught mid-plant. She layered Tasha's logs, proving the deepfake's police routes, and called Marcus to testify. He spoke steady, voice carrying Trayvon's name, his brother's death, 10 years of scraping by, now this. They took my shop, because I dared. Speak, he said. The judge nodded, scribbling. Holt wasn't there, too busy for court, but his absence screamed guilt. On day 3, the ruling came. City liable, license reinstated, $50,000 for damages. Marcus hugged Denise, Lena sobbing beside him, the courtroom buzzing with cheers. News crews swarmed outside, mics in his face. Hero rises. One headline flashed. He drove back to Westbridge, windows down, radio blasting gospel Lena loved. The shop reopened the next morning. July sun glinting off fresh oil cans. Customers lining up. Miss Clara first, her cobbler warm in his hands. Ray slapped his back, grinning. Told you, man. Marcus laughed, tools humming, feeling like he'd cracked Holt's armor. Social media lit up, clips of his testimony, memes of Holt ducking cameras. A preacher called for a unity march, 500 strong, set for next week. Marcus walked home, Jamal bouncing beside him, asking if they'd be rich now. Not rich, Marcus said, but free. Lena cooked ribs that night, the house alive with laughter, first time in weeks. He slept deep, dreaming of Trayvon smiling. Then the hammer fell. Monday morning, Marcus woke to his phone buzzing, not support but venom. A news story was trending. Marcus bribed judge, sources say. His jaw dropped. Posts claimed he'd paid off the court, Denise in on it, the ruling a scam. No proof, just insider tips from city officials. Comments piled up, slurs, threats, old deepfake clips resurfacing like ghosts. Fraud. Crook. His stomach twisted. Lena scrolled, face pale. This is Holt, she whispered. Marcus nodded, rage simmering. He called Denise. She was livid, already tracing the smear to a blog tied to Holt's deputy. But the damage spread. Customers cancelled appointments, muttering about dirty money. The march's organizers pulled out, citing controversy. Then the bank called. His and Lena's accounts were frozen, flagged for fraud investigation. Marcus raced to the branch, sweat soaking his shirt, 92 degrees outside. The clerk, a white kid, barely 20, shrugged. City order. Can't help you. Marcus demanded answers. The manager stonewalled, citing policy. He drove home, fists tight, savings gone, $2,000 for rent, groceries, Jamal's school, all locked away. Lena met him at Mao. The door, eyes red, holding a crumpled note from their truck. Your boy's next. Marcus's heart stopped. He called Jamal's school, voice shaking. The principal, a black woman who'd marched with them, sounded nervous. We saw a man outside today watching the kids. Cop said it's nothing. Marcus hung up, picturing Holt's grin, his council buddies pulling strings. He grabbed Jamal, drove him to Lena's mom's place 10 miles out, every car in the rear view a threat. Back home, he checked the news. Holt was at a city gala, tux crisp, toasting community, trust, while Marcus's world burned. Social media turned uglier, posts wishing death on that thug's kid. The shop's lot emptied again, tires crunching away. Lena sat silent, staring at the note. Marcus paced, mind racing. Holt had lost the case, but flipped the board. Hitting harder, dirtier. The lawsuit's win was dust now, replaced by lies, poverty, fear. He thought of Trayvon, his brother, faces blurred by time, and wondered if Holt could take everything. The march was tomorrow, but who'd show? He looked at Lena, her strength his anchor, and vowed to keep swinging. Holt wanted him broken, but Marcus wasn't there yet. Still, as he locked the doors, a chill hit. How do you fight a man who burns your life and calls it law? Marcus Tate's hands shook as he gripped the steering wheel, speeding down a dark Alabama back road, the Westbridge skyline fading in his rear view. It was 10 at night, 90 degrees even now, the air heavy with July's chokehold. Jamal, his 10-year-old son, sat silent in the back seat, clutching a backpack stuffed with clothes, his eyes wide but unasking. The note from Part 4, "Your boy's next," burned in Marcus's mind, its jagged scrawl a knife to his heart. Holt's smear campaign had frozen their bank accounts, killed the shop's reopening, and turned neighbors into strangers. But threatening Jamal was a new low. Marcus glanced at his son, forcing a smile. "Just a quick trip to Grandma's, little man." Jamal nodded, sensing the lie. Lena stayed back, her nurse shift starting at midnight. She'd argued to come, but Marcus insisted one of them had to hold the fort. He was taking Jamal to Lena's mom, Miss Evelyn, 60 miles away in Groverton, a speck of a town with one stoplight and no precinct ties to Chief Vernon Holt. The school's report of a suspicious man watching kids had sealed it. Holt's reach was closing in. Marcus's phone sat silent in the cup holder. No bars out here, no way to check if cops were trailing. Every headlight felt like a threat, every curve a trap. He pictured Holt laughing at that gala last night, tucks gleaming while Marcus's world crumbled. The lawsuit's win was ashes now. Shop open for a day before lies and threats buried it. He hit 70 miles an hour, pines blurring past, praying distance would keep Jamal safe. By 11 they reached Miss Evelyn's clapboard house, porch sagging but warm with light. She hugged Jamal tight, her grey braids brushing his cheek, then eyed Marcus. "You in deep, ain't you?" He nodded, throat tight, and kissed Jamal's forehead. "Be good. I'll be back soon." Jamal clung a second longer, then ran inside, backpack bouncing. Marcus drove off, chest hollow, feeling he'd left half his soul behind. Back in Westbridge by 1 in the morning, he crashed on the couch. Lena still at the hospital. His phone pinged, a text from Denise, the lawyer who'd won the lawsuit. "Check your email. Big." He opened it, heart racing. She'd hacked a councilman's burner phone. Texts between Holt and City Hall suits, bragging about rigging the account freeze and planting the bribe smear. One line stood out: "Tate's done. Shop's gone. Kids next." Marcus's blood ran cold. Proof Holt planned the threat. Denise had leaked the text to a Montgomery reporter, a black woman named Kyla, who hated Holt's kind. By dawn, Kyla's story hit. Front-page news, online too, with screenshots of Holt's orders. Social media exploded. Chuck Holt exposed trending. Clips of Marcus's courtroom testimony remixed with the texts. Calls flooded Marcus's phone. Radio hosts, activists, even a senator's aide promising a probe. He stood in his kitchen, coffee cold, watching TV as Holt's face flashed, labeled under investigation. At noon, the bombshell dropped. Holt was suspended, pending a state review. News showed him leaving the precinct, tie loose, dodging. Cameras. Marcus punched the air, shouting alone. Lena rushed home, saw the report and hugged him, laughing through tears. "We got him, baby." Supporters hit the shop's lot, honking, waving signs from the first march. Ray called, cackling, "Chief's cooked, man." Marcus grinned, feeling lighter than he had since Trayvon's shooting sparked this war. The deepfake, raid and smear had bloodied him, but this was a knockout. He planned a vigil for tomorrow, not a march, just candles for Trayvon, a quiet win. He slept that night dreaming of Jamal's smile, the shop humming again. Then his phone rang at 3 in the morning, a blocked number. He answered, groggy, expecting Denise. A voice rasped low and cold, "We know where your kid is." Marcus bolted upright, sweat beading, room spinning. "Who's this?" No answer, just a click. He called Miss Evelyn, heart slamming. Her line rang out. He grabbed his keys, called Lena, waking her at the hospital. "Get home," he said, voice breaking. "It's Jamal." She gasped, already running. Marcus floored it to Groverton. 90 miles an hour, road a blur, mind screaming. Holt's suspension was supposed to end this. How was he still pulling strings? Dawn broke as he hit Miss Evelyn's street, her house dark, door ajar. He sprinted inside, shouting Jamal's name. Furniture was flipped, dishes smashed, a lamp sparking on the floor. Miss Evelyn sat trembling, a bruise swelling her cheek. "They took him," she whispered, pointing to a note taped to the fridge. "Retract the bribe claims or he's gone." Marcus's knees buckled. He called the Groverton sheriff, a white guy he didn't trust, voice shaking as he begged for a search. The sheriff yawned through it. "Sounds like a prank. Kids run off." Marcus screamed, "He's 10!" The line went dead. He checked his phone. Kyla's story had doubled down, naming Holt's deputies in the smear. Social media was a war zone, half cheering Marcus, half calling him a liar, stirring trouble. No one mentioned Jamal. Lena arrived sobbing, clutching the note. Marcus held her, rage swallowing fear. He called Denise, who promised to push the feds, but her voice wavered. Holt's reach was deeper than she thought. Marcus drove to Westbridge's precinct, demanding action, but cops stonewalled, claiming no jurisdiction. He pictured Jamal scared, alone, Holt's men laughing. Then he saw it. Holt's car parked at Rusty's bar 5 miles out. Marcus stormed in, neon buzzing, and there was Holt, nursing a whiskey, smirking like he'd won. Marcus lunged, fists clenched, but bouncers grabbed him, tossing him to the pavement. Holt didn't move, just raised his glass. Marcus crawled home, bruises throbbing, and sat in the dark, Lena's hand on his. The vigil was hours away, but Jamal's face drowned. It out. Holt's suspension meant nothing. He was the system, untouchable, playing chess while Marcus bled. He stared at the note, its words a noose, retract or lose everything. What kind of man trades truth for his son? If Holt's cruelty makes your blood boil, comment 1 below. Hit like and subscribe to see Marcus's next move, because this fight's far from over. Can Marcus save Jamal before Holt tightens the trap, or is the Chief's endgame already in motion? Marcus Tate's breath burned in his chest as he stood in his Westbridge kitchen, the Alabama dawn bleeding through the blinds, the clock ticking past 5 in the morning. July's heat already clung to the walls, 93 degrees. But it was the note from Miss Evelyn's fridge. Retract the bribe claims or he's gone. That set his skin on fire. Jamal, his 10-year-old son, was somewhere out there, snatched by Holt's men after the Chief's suspension in Part 5. Lena paced beside him, her nurse scrubs swapped for a t-shirt, eyes red from crying, her phone dead from calling every cop. In Groverton, who'd hung up on her. Marcus clutched the note, its paper creased from his grip, Holt's shadow in every word. The vigil for Trayvon was set for tonight, candles ready, but it felt like a lifetime away. Jamal's face drowned out everything. He'd seen Holt last night at Rusty's bar, smirking over whiskey, untouchable despite the feds sniffing around. Marcus's bruises throbbed from the bouncer's toss, but the real pain was knowing Holt played chess while he scrambled. Lena grabbed his arm, voice cracking. "We can't wait for Denise. Do it." Marcus nodded, throat tight. Retracting. The bribe claims, Holt's leaked texts from Part 5 that got him suspended, meant eating dirt, letting Holt skate, but Jamal's life hung on it. He opened his laptop, hands shaking, and drafted a post. "The texts were a mistake. I'm sorry. Let it go." He stared at the screen, rage choking him. Those texts proved Holt's smear, the account freeze, the threat to Jamal from Part 4. Posting this was betrayal, not just of himself, but of Trayvon, his brother. Every black kid Westbridge failed. Lena touched his shoulder, whispering, "For him." Marcus hit send, the post live by 5:15, spreading like oil across social media. Comments piled up. Shock, anger, some calling him a sellout, others begging for his son's safety. He slammed the laptop shut, unable to watch his fight. Unravel. By 6, his phone buzzed. A text, no number. Warehouse on Pike Road. Now, alone. Marcus's heart leapt. Pike Road was 10 miles out, a stretch of abandoned lots and rusted silos. He grabbed his keys, ignoring Lena's plea to call the sheriff. "They won't help," he said, kissing her hard. "Stay here, I'll bring him back." He sped off, 90 miles an hour, dust swirling, the sun a red smear on the horizon. His mind raced. Holt's men, the note, the bar smirk. Was this a trap? No choice. Pike Road loomed, a gravel path to a sagging warehouse, windows boarded, weeds choking the lot. Marcus parked, sweat stinging his eyes, and crept inside, boots crunching glass. The air reeked of oil and rot. A whimper echoed, Jamal's voice. Marcus ran, heart slamming, and found him in a corner, wrists tied, face bruised, eyes wide with fear. "Dad!" Jamal sobbed. Marcus cut the ropes with a pocket knife, hugging him so tight his ribs ached, tears mixing with dust. "I got you," he whispered, checking for broken bones. None, just scrapes, a cut lip. Jamal clung to him, shaking as Marcus scanned the dark. Nobody else, no ambush, just silence. Too easy. He grabbed Jamal's hand, sprinting for the exit, truck keys jangling. They hit the lot, air thick with morning heat, and Marcus let himself believe it was over. Then headlights flared, blue and red, a cop car blocking the gate. Marcus froze, shielding Jamal, pulse roaring. A figure stepped out, Deputy Rawls, Holt's right hand, his badge glinting, smirk wide. "Marcus Tate, you're under arrest." "For trespassing," Rawls drawled, cuffs dangling. Marcus blinked, voice hoarse. "Trespassing? I'm saving my kid." Rawls laughed, nodding to a second cruiser pulling up. 2 more deputies climbing out, radios crackling. Jamal screamed, "Dad, no!" as Rawls yanked Marcus's arms, metal biting his wrists. Marcus shouted for Jamal to run, but a deputy grabbed, the boy pinning him. Lena wasn't here. No live stream to save him now. The warehouse doors creaked. Marcus glimpsed a camera drone, red light blinking, filming it all. His stomach dropped. This wasn't random. Rawls shoved him into the cruiser, tires crunching as they sped to Westbridge's precinct, 5 miles away. Jamal was in the other car, crying, separated. Marcus's mind screamed. Holt planned this, used Jamal as bait. At the station, they booked him, flash blinding, cell door slamming. Rawls leaned close, breath sour. "Smile. You're famous." Again. Marcus sat on the cot, head in hands, picturing Holt laughing. By noon, the news hit. A new video trending, this one real. Marcus breaking into the warehouse, fleeing with Jamal, spun as proof he was violent, unstable. Social media erupted. Thug caught red-handed. Keep him locked up. The vigil cancelled, organizers citing safety risks. Marcus's supporters vanished, hashtags silent. Lena got Jamal released, but the cops kept Marcus, no bail yet. She visited at 3, face ashen, gripping the bars. "They're saying you attacked the warehouse owner," she whispered. Marcus shook his head, voice breaking. "There was no owner, it's Holt." Lena nodded, believing him, but her eyes held fear. Westbridge was turning. He asked about the shop. She looked away. Vandals hit it again. Windows, tires, everything. Marcus's chest caved. His shop, reborn for a day in Part 4, was rubble again. Lena left, promising to call Denise, but Marcus felt the walls close in. By evening, TV screens in the precinct blared. Holt was reinstated, suspension lifted, the state review inconclusive. The chief stood at City Hall, tie crisp, vowing to restore order. Clips of Marcus's break-in looped, his face twisted with rage, edited to look feral. Comments online called for life sentences, worse, slurs, death threats, photos. Of Jamal mocked with captions like mini-thug. Marcus sat in the cell, concrete cold, replaying the warehouse, empty, staged, perfect for Holt's drone. Retracting the bribe claims wasn't enough. Holt wanted him erased. He thought of Jamal's bruises, Lena's fear, the shop's broken glass. The vigil was dead, Trayvon's name fading, his brother's ghost silent. Marcus's post had bought Jamal's life, but at what cost? He'd played Holt's game, lost his voice, and still got cuffed. The cell door rattled, guard shift, no rescue. He stared at the ceiling, fists clenched, vowing to fight, but doubt gnawed. Holt was the system, bending truth, breaking families. Marcus's shop was gone, his name poisoned, Jamal scarred. He pictured Rawls's smirk, Holt's whiskey glass, and wondered what hit was next. Each tick of the clock felt like a blade. How long could he hold out when the whole town believed? The lie. Marcus Tate sat on a sagging cot in Westbridge's precinct cell, the Alabama air sour with sweat and bleach, July's heat pressing through the bars at 94 degrees. 3 days had passed since Part 6's warehouse trap, rescuing Jamal, only to be cuffed by Deputy Rawls for trespassing, a drone filming it all to smear him as a thug. The video looped online, killing the vigil for Trayvon, his shop vandalized again, Holt reinstated with a smug vow to restore order. Marcus's wrists ached from cuffs long gone, but the real pain was Jamal's bruised face, Lena's whispered fears, his name now poison. His lawyer, Denise, worked pro bono, but her calls were grim. No bail yet, evidence missing. Marcus stared at the wall, replaying Rawls's smirk, Holt's whiskey glass from Rusty's bar in Part 5. Retracting the bribe claims to save Jamal had cost him everything: credibility, supporters, hope. The cell door clanked, a guard tossing him a phone. 5 minutes, he grunted. It was Denise, voice urgent. I've got something. Rawls is dirty. Marcus gripped the phone, pulse spiking. She dug into the deputy's finances, cash deposits, offshore accounts, all tied to Holt's precinct slush fund. Payments spiked the night of the deepfake in Part 2, the raid in Part 3, and now the warehouse setup. It's enough for the feds, Denise said. I'm leaking it. Marcus exhaled, a spark flaring. Holt might bleed for this. By noon, Denise sent the proof to a national outlet, The Sentinel, known for gutting corrupt cops. The story dropped at 2, headlined, Westbridge deputy paid to frame black leader. Screenshots showed Rawls' accounts, Holt's name in emails, dates matching every hit on Marcus. Social media caught fire. Holt must fall trending. Clips of Marcus's old protest chants remixed with Rawls' bank records. Calls flooded the precinct, demanding answers. By 5, feds announced an audit of Holt's department, boots on the ground in Westbridge. Marcus's cell door swung open at 6. Charges dropped. Clerical error, the guard muttered, avoiding his eyes. Marcus walked out, July sun scorching his neck, and found Lena waiting, Jamal clinging to her. They hugged, tears soaking his shirt, Jamal whispering, "You're back, Dad." News vans swarmed, mics shoved in his face. Justice prevails. One blog screamed. Marcus drove home, Lena's hand in his, feeling the tide turn. The shop was a wreck. Graffiti, broken glass from Part 6's vandals, but customers trickled back the next morning, tools humming by 8. Ray slapped his shoulder, grinning. "Feds'll roast Holt now." Marcus nodded, wiping oil from his hands, letting himself believe it. Social media buzzed. Petitions for Holt's badge, a senator tweeting support. A preacher called for a community barbecue, 300 strong, set for Saturday. Marcus fixed a carburetor, Jamal drawing nearby, and felt whole again, like Trayvon's. Name might echo louder now. He slept that night, Lena's breath steady beside him, dreaming of his brother smiling. Then dusk brought a knock. It was Troy, his best friend since high school, a barber who'd marched with him in Part 2, brought ribs when the shop reopened in Part 4. Troy's eyes darted, sweat beading despite the 90-degree evening. Marcus let him in, confused, offering a beer. Troy sat, hands shaking, and stared at the floor. "I gotta tell you something," he mumbled. Marcus frowned, leaning closer. Troy's voice broke. "I told Holt where Jamal was, at Evelyn's. They paid me. 5 grand. Marcus's ears. Farang, his room tilting. He stood, chair scraping, fists clenched. "You what?" Troy sobbed, words spilling. Holt's men cornered him after the lawsuit win, offered cash to snitch, said it'd just scare Marcus. He took it, gave up Groverton, didn't know they'd kidnapped Jamal. Marcus's vision blurred, rage swallowing sense. He saw Jamal's bruises, Miss Evelyn's wrecked house from Part 5, all because Troy sold him out. "You knew what they'd do," Marcus roared, lunging. Lena grabbed him, shouting to stop. Troy scrambled back, crying, "I'm sorry, man." Marcus shoved him out, door slamming, his chest heaving. Lena held him, whispering, "He's gone, breathe." Marcus sat, head in hands, betrayal cutting deeper than Holt's cuffs. Troy was family. Barbecues, late-night talks, Jamal's godfather. Now he was Holt's pawn. The house felt colder, trust fractured. Marcus checked his phone. Sentinel's story still trending, feds digging, but it felt hollow. He couldn't sleep, picturing Troy's face, Holt's grin. At 3 a.m, sirens wailed nearby. Marcus bolted up, heart pounding, thinking cops again. Lena ran to the window, gasping. "The shop!" They raced 5 miles to the lot, July air thick, and found hell. Flames swallowing his auto shop, orange tongues licking the roof, tires popping like gunfire. Firefighters stood back, hoses limp, muttering about lost pressure. Marcus screamed, "Do something!" A captain shrugged, eyes blank. "Too hot, can't save it." Lena clutched Jamal, who'd woken crying, watching his dad's dream burn. Marcus stumbled forward, heat blistering his face, and saw it. A note in the ashes, untouched by flame. "Told you to quit." His knees buckled. The crowd grew, neighbors, customers, but nobody helped, their whispers sharp. He brought this. Marcus's tools, his father's wrenches, Jamal's drawings, all gone. The blaze lit the sky, smoke choking his lungs. And he knew Holt. Maybe Troy tipped him again, maybe the Fed's audit pushed him, but this was personal, a torch to Marcus's soul. Lena pulled him back, tears streaking her face. "We'll rebuild," she said, voice fierce. Marcus nodded, but his eyes stayed on the fire, its roar drowning hope. Dawn broke, ashes cooling, and news trucks rolled in, calling it suspected arson. Social media flipped. Some mourned Marcus, others sneered. Thug got what he deserved. He checked his phone. Holt was at City Hall, shaking hands with councilmen, vowing safety first. The Fed's audit hadn't touched him yet. Marcus stood in the charred lot, Jamal's hand in his, Lena's arm around him, and felt Westbridge shift. Holt wasn't just fighting, he was erasing him. The barbecue was tomorrow, but what was left to celebrate? He kicked a melted bolt, pain spiking, and vowed to keep swinging. But as the sun rose, a chill hit. Holt had burned his past. What was next? If Troy's betrayal broke your heart, comment. One below. If you're rooting for Marcus to rise, hit like and subscribe, because this story's twists keep coming. When a man loses his brother, his shop, his trust, what's left to burn or fight for? Marcus Tate stood in the ashes of his Westbridge auto shop, the Alabama sun scorching his neck at 95 degrees, July's grip unrelenting. It was 3 days since Part 7's gut punch, Troy's confession that he sold Jamal's location to Holt for $5,000, followed by the fire that devoured his shop, leaving a taunting note, "Told you to quit." The lot was a graveyard now, melted wrenches, charred tires, his father's legacy gone. Lena had pulled him through that night, her voice fierce, but Marcus felt hollow, Trayvon's vigil cancelled, Holt shaking hands at City Hall while feds poked uselessly at his precinct. Social media split, half mourned his loss, half jeered, Thug deserved it. Jamal drew in silence at home, 10 years old but carrying scars no kid should. Marcus kicked a scorched bolt, pain spiking his foot, and swore he wasn't done. Holt wanted him broken, but Westbridge's black community deserved a fight. He called Ray, voice hoarse. "We're rallying, no candles, fists." Ray paused, then said, "I'm in." By dusk, Marcus hit every block, churches, barbershops, stoops, recruiting voices. Miss Clara, her arthritis flaring, vowed to march. A preacher named Amos, 60 miles from Montgomery, promised buses. Lena taped flyers, her nurse shifts on hold, eyes fierce with pride. Marcus felt the spark reignite. Holt burned his past, but not his people. They set the rally for Saturday downtown, expecting 300. By Friday night, word spread, 500 confirmed, then 700. A senator's aide called, vowing to attend, sniffing votes but useful. Marcus stayed up, sketching routes on a map, Jamal asleep nearby, his Truth Wins sign from Part 3 crumpled but saved. Lena kissed him, whispering, "You're enough." He nodded, but doubt gnawed. Holt's moves kept escalating from deepfake to kidnapping to fire. What was next? Saturday dawned, 97 degrees, air like soup. Westbridge's Main Street pulsed. 800 bodies, black, brown, some white, signs high chanting Trayvon's name. Marcus led, shirt soaked, heart pounding. No megaphone, just his voice raw and loud. "No more lies, no more Holt!" The crowd roared, fists pumping, kids on shoulders, elders clapping from stoops. News vans lined the route, cameras catching every step, live streams hitting 10,000 views. A black reporter, Kyler from Part 5, shoved a mic in his face. "Why keep fighting? Marcus locked eyes with her. For my son. For theirs. The clip went viral, shared across states, his face fierce but tired. Amos prayed mid-March. Voice booming, naming Trayvon, Marcus's brother. Every Westbridge kid lost to badges. The senator showed, a white guy in a crisp suit, shaking hands, promising a Holt probe. Marcus nodded, wary. He trusted street grit over suits. By noon, they hit the courthouse steps, 1,000 strong now, crowd spilling into the street, cars honking support. Marcus climbed the steps, no stage, just stone, and spoke, voice carrying over horns. Holt thinks fire stops us. He's wrong. We're the flame. Cheers erupted, deafening, phones up, live feeds spiking to 50,000. Lena squeezed. His hand, Jamal waving a new sign. Dad fights. Marcus felt invincible, like Holt's badge was cracking, the feds watching, Westbridge waking. A senator's tweet, Westbridge rises, hit 1 million likes. Marcus grinned, sweat stinging, believing they'd turned it. Then a red dot danced on his chest, sharp as a needle. He froze, mid-sentence, crowd still cheering, unaware. Time slowed. The laser flicked steady from somewhere high, a rooftop across the square. Marcus's breath caught, eyes scanning. Nothing, just brick and glass. Instinct screamed, sniper. He dove behind a pillar, heart slamming, shouting, get down! Chaos exploded, screams, bodies scattering, signs dropping, kids crying. Lena grabbed Jamal, pulling him low, her eyes wild. Marcus crawled to them, shielding, pulse roaring. The dot vanished, no shot fired, but panic ruled. Cops swarmed late, yelling, clear out! News cameras spun, catching the stampede, live streams now at 100,000. Marcus peeked out, scanning rooftops. Nothing, but he glimpsed Rawls, Holt's deputy from Part 6, in the crowd, radio crackling, lips curled. No coincidence. Cops blamed gangs, shouting it to reporters, but Marcus knew. Holt's hand, flexing even under federal heat. The rally collapsed, marchers fleeing, senator gone, Kyla's mic shaking as she reported, shots suspected. No bullet came, but the fear did Holt's work. Marcus got Lena and Jamal home 5 miles away, doors locked, blinds down. He checked his phone. Clips of his dive trended, captioned Tate panics or gang target. Supporters wavered, posts asking if he'd staged it. He punched the wall, knuckles bleeding, rage swallowing hope. Lena cleaned his hand, silent. Jamal drawing in the corner, quieter than ever. Marcus thought it couldn't get worse. Then 9 at night brought thunder, not rain, but an explosion. He ran outside, air thick, and saw Lena's car across the street, a fireball, hood twisted, flames licking the oak tree. Neighbors screamed, phones up, filming. Marcus sprinted, heart in his throat, checking. Nobody inside. Lena safe. Jamal safe. Fire trucks rolled up, slow, hoses weak, like the shop's blaze in Part 7. A cop shrugged, muttering, gas leak, but Marcus smelled Holt. Another warning, deadlier than fire. The blast shook Westbridge, news calling it Tate's curse. Social media turned, old slurs, deepfake clips from Part 2, new ones mocking his wrecked life. Lena held him, shaking, whispering, we're still here. Marcus nodded, but his eyes stayed on the car's husk, glass glittering like teeth. Holt's voice hit the TV at 10, oppressor, tie crisp. Marcus Tate's a danger magnet. Westbridge needs peace. Comments cheered Holt, calling for Marcus's arrest. Exile worse. The rally's fire was ash now. Senator silent, feds stalled. Trayvon's name drowned out. Marcus sat, Jamal asleep on his lap, Lena's hand in his, and felt Holt's noose tighten. The sniper was a ghost, the bomb a blade. Holt wasn't fighting. He was hunting. Marcus vowed to stand, but as the flames died, a chill hit. How do you face a man who'd burn your family to keep his crown? Marcus Tate sat hunched in his Westbridge living room, the Alabama night heavy at 92 degrees, July's humidity seeping through cracked windows. 3 days had passed since Part 8's rally nightmare. A sniper's laser dart on his chest, mid-speech scattering 1,000 marchers, followed by Lena's car exploding in a fireball outside their home. A message from Chief Vernon Holt that burned hotter than the shop's ashes in Part 7. The rally's hope. Senators probe, crowds. Raw was dust now, Westbridge whispering Marcus's name like a curse. Social media churned with slurs. Old deepfakes from Part 2, new clips mocking his dive from the laser. Jamal, 10 years old, slept fitfully upstairs, quieter since the kidnapping in Part 5, his drawings now just grey scribbles. Lena cleaned dishes, her hands steady but eyes distant, the car's twisted husk towed away but not forgotten. Marcus stared at his phone, Holt's TV speech looping, calling him a danger magnet, smirking like he'd won. The Fed's audit. From Part 7 stalled Senator Silent, Trayvon's vigil a fading echo. Marcus's shop was gone, bank accounts frozen from Part 4, trust shattered by Troy's betrayal. He felt Holt's noose each hit. Deepfake, raid, kidnapping, fire, sniper, tighter, deadlier. But he wasn't done. Lena dried her hands, nodding at his laptop. Call Ray. Marcus dialed his cousin, 30 miles away in Birmingham, a coder, who'd traced the deepfake server in Part 3. Ray answered, voice low. Are you sure, man? Holt's playing ugly. Marcus gripped the phone, picturing Jamal's bruises, Lena's car in flames. Get me something. Ray sighed, then agreed. Hacking Holt's precinct emails, risky but doable. By midnight, Marcus drove to Ray's cramped apartment, neon buzzing outside, air conditioner rattling. Ray's screens glowed, code scrolling fast, his fingers a blur. Marcus paced, sweat beading every creak outside a cop's boot. At 2 in the morning, Ray froze, whispering, jackpot. He'd cracked Holt's private account. Orders to Rawls, the deputy from Part 6, dated the rally. Red dot on Tate. Scare them good. Another email same day, wired cash for car job. Marcus's blood ran cold. Holt planned the sniper, the bomb, every scream. Ray zipped the files, hands shaking. This buries him, but they'll hunt us. Marcus nodded, jaw tight. He sent the emails to Denise, his lawyer, who forwarded them to the FBI by 3. Marcus drove home, 90 miles an hour, dawn breaking. Heart pounding. Holt's own words caught, no dodging now. By 7, the leak hit. National news, blogs, social media screaming, Westbridge chief ordered hit. Screenshots flashed. Holt's sniper plan, bomb payment, names of deputies. On payroll. Hashtags exploded. Holt is done, Tate was right. Clips of Marcus's rally speech remixed with the emails. His phone buzzed. Kyler, the reporter from Part 5, begging for a quote. He gave one, voice steady. Truth cuts deeper than fire. It trended by 9, 1 million likes. At noon, sirens wailed downtown, FBI vans storming the precinct, agents in vests, Holt cuffed on live TV, his tie crooked, face pale. Marcus stood in his kitchen, Lena beside him, Jamal watching wide-eyed. The anchor called it Westbridge's fall, showing Rawls arrested too, precinct locked down. Social media flipped, supporters flooding back, petitions for Marcus's shop, a senator tweeting justice now. Lena hugged him, sobbing, you did it. Marcus exhaled, feeling the noose loosen, Holt in cuffs, feds digging, Westbridge waking. He called Ray, grinning. We got him, man. Ray laughed, but his voice shook. Nerves, Marcus thought. He planned to reopen somehow, maybe crowdsource and start small. Jamal smiled, first time in days, sketching a new sign. Dad won. Marcus slept that night, Lena's hand in his, dreaming of Trayvon's laugh, his brother's nod. Then midnight brought hell. His phone rang, hospital, Birmingham. Ray was in ICU, beaten, ribs cracked, skull fractured, found in a ditch off I-20. Marcus raced 60 miles, heart slamming, Lena staying with Jamal. Ray lay tubed up, whispering, Holt's men, after the hack. Marcus's knees buckled. Ray took the hit for him. He called Denise, voice breaking, begging for FBI protection. She promised to try, but her tone faltered. Holt's reach lingered. Back in Westbridge, dawn broke, and Marcus's phone lit up. Not support, but venom. A new hashtag trended. Gmar's Tate snitch posts branding him a traitor, leaking cop secrets, endangering heroes. Threats buried his inbox. Watch your back. Your kid's done. His stomach twisted. Holt's allies spun the hack, twisted truth again. He checked the shop's lot. Empty, graffiti fresh. Rat. Lena called frantic. Miss Evelyn's nursing home 10 miles out had evicted her, citing safety risks after community complaints. Marcus drove there, 90 degrees. Already, and found Evelyn's bags on the curb, her wheelchair creaking, eyes wet. "They said you're trouble," she mumbled. He loaded her into his truck, rage choking him. Holt's council buddies from Part 4 pulling strings even now. Social media worsened. Clips of Holt's arrest mocked as Tate's setup. Old slurs from Part 2 revived. Marcus got Evelyn to Lena's sister's 5 miles away, then checked news. Holt was released at noon. Technicality, smirking at cameras, vowing truth will out. The FBI raid fizzled, no charges stuck, precinct back under Holt's grip. Marcus stood in his living room, Jamal drawing nearby, Lena unpacking Evelyn's meds, and felt the ground slip. The hack was his ace, Holt cuffed, exposed. But now Ray was broken, Marcus a snitch, Evelyn homeless, Holt free. Social media called for his head, supporters silent, Trayvon's name buried again. He pictured Ray's blood, Holt's grin, and wondered if truth was enough. The shop was gone, his cousin near death, his family marked. Holt wasn't fighting, he was carving. Marcus held Lena, vowing to stand, but as night fell, a chill hit. How do you hit a ghost who owns the game? If Holt's comeback makes you sick, comment one below. If you're praying for Marcus's family, hit like and subscribe, because this story's far from done. When a man risks everything to expose a king, what's left when the king walks free? Marcus Tate crouched in a musty basement 5 miles from Westbridge's center, the Alabama night thick at 91 degrees, July's heat seeping through concrete walls. It was 4 days since Part 9's fallout, hacking Holt's emails to expose his sniper and bomb plots, watching him cuffed only to see Ray beaten near death, Marcus branded a snitch, Miss Evelyn evicted, and Holt freed on a technicality, smirking like a king. The precinct raid fizzled, Holt's grip tighter than ever, social media spitting slurs. Tate snitch trending, death threats piling up. Jamal slept at Lena's sister's, 10 miles out, his drawings tucked away, fear in his eyes since the kidnapping. In Part 5. Lena stayed home guarding what little they had, accounts still frozen from Part 4, shop ashes from Part 7. Marcus hid here, a friend's safe house, no windows, just a flickering bulb and a cot. Holt's release had driven him underground. Cops circled his block, routine patrols they called it. But Marcus knew a hunt. His phone battery was low, signal spotty, but he checked news. Holt at a fundraiser vowing law and order, crowd cheering. Marcus's stomach twisted. Westbridge ate his lies, Trayvon's name buried again. He pictured Ray's ICU tubes, Evelyn's bags on the curb, and felt the walls close in. But he wasn't broken. Lena's voice echoed, "Keep fighting." He called Denise, his lawyer, whispering from the dark. "Anything left?" Her voice cracked, tired but sharp. "I'm trying, Marcus. Feds dropped the ball." He hung up, pacing, boots scuffing dust. Then a text pinged, not Lena, not Ray, but an unknown number. "Check your pocket." Marcus froze, heart thudding, and patted his jacket. Nothing but lint yesterday, now a burner phone, cheap, heavy. He powered it on, hands shaking, and found one file. A screenshot of Holt's email to a judge dated the day of his release. 10 grand for the paperwork glitch. Tate's next. Marcus's blood ran cold. Holt bought his freedom, framed. The technicality from Part 9 and next meant him, Lena, Jamal. He sent the file to Denise, whispering, "Leak it." By dawn, she'd pushed it to Kyla, the reporter from Part 5 who blasted it online. Headlined, "Holt bribed judge to walk." The screenshot went viral, 5 million views by noon. Hashtags flipping. Holt corrupt, Manch free Tate. Clips of Marcus's old protest in Part 2 remixed with the email. Donations poured in, $10,000 by 2. Strangers vowing to rebuild his shop. Social media roared, petitions for Holt's badge, a congressman demanding a DOJ probe. Marcus risked a call to Lena, voice low. "It's working," she laughed, first time in weeks, Jamal giggling in the background. He left the basement, dusk cooling to 89 degrees, and drove to a diner 10 miles out, hood up, meeting. Kyla. She slid him a coffee, eyes fierce. You're Westbridge's pulse now. Marcus nodded, hope sparking. He was back, untouchable. His phone buzzed. Posts cleared his snitch label, calling him a hero. He drove home 5 miles, picturing Jamal's smile. A new shop. Trayvon's name loud again. Then sirens screamed, red and blue, slicing the night 3 miles from home. Marcus slowed, heart racing. But they weren't for him. Cops swarmed. A gas station, tape-up, lights flashing. He parked curious and overheard a deputy. Dead officer, Tate's name's on it. His stomach dropped. He floored it home, 90 miles an hour, bursting through the door. Lena ran to him, face pale, TV blaring. News claimed Marcus killed Deputy Carter, a nobody cop. Body found an hour ago, Marcus's fingerprints on a knife. He blinked, voice hoarse. I've been in a basement. Lena gripped his hand, believing, but the anchor kept going. Marcus spotted, fleeing, violent history from the warehouse clip in part 6. Social media turned Tate killer. Trending, his protest pics now proof of rage. He checked the diner's lot on his phone. No cameras, no alibi. Then boots thumped outside. Flashlights stabbing through blinds. Marcus whispered, "Hide!" But it was too late. Cops kicked the door, rifles up, screaming, "Tate, down!" He raised his hands, heart slamming. But they didn't grab him. They cuffed Lena, dragging her out, yelling, "Accomplice!" Marcus lunged, shouting her name, but a cop shoved him back, barrel to his chest. "You're next," the cop hissed. Lena's eyes locked on his, fierce despite fear, as they stuffed her in a cruiser, sirens fading. Marcus stood frozen, Jamal, crying upstairs, woken by screams. The TV looped Lena's mugshot, her nurse scrubs swapped for orange. Tate's wife, murder plot, the anchor droned. Marcus ran to Jamal, hugging him, whispering, "Mum's okay," a lie to himself. He called Denise, voice breaking. Her line was busy, feds useless. Social media buried him, threats to Jamal, burn their house, old slurs from part 2 reborn. He checked the news, Holt at a fundraiser 5 miles away, toasting fallen. Heroes tie crisp, no mention of Carter's body. Marcus's mind raced. The deputy wasn't dead, couldn't be, this was Holt's game. The email proved Holt rigged courts. Now he rigged death. Marcus scoured his phone. Posts showed Carter. Alive last week, no record of a killing. He sent it to Kyla, begging a story, but her reply was curt. Risky. Need proof. He slammed the table, wood creaking, Jamal flinching. The donation stopped. $5,000 frozen by fraud checks. Holt's council allies from part 4, no doubt. Marcus locked the doors, blinds down, Jamal's hand in his, and felt Westbridge choke him. The email leak was his sword. Holt's bribe exposed, donations flowing. But now Lena was caged, Marcus a killer. Jamal marked again. Social media called for blood. Supporters gone. Trayvon's echo silent. He pictured Lena's cuffs, Holt's toast, and wondered if he'd pushed too far. The basement kept him free, but for how long? Holt wasn't hitting. He was carving piece by piece. Marcus held Jamal, vowing to fight, but as sirens wailed distant, a chill hit. How do you run when the trap's already sprung? Marcus Tate knelt in his Westbridge living room, the Alabama night thick at 90 degrees. July's grip unrelenting through cracked blinds. It was 2 days since Part 10's nightmare. Lena cuffed as an accomplice to a fake murder of Deputy Carter, her mugshot plastered online, Marcus framed as the killer after leaking Holt's judge bribe email. Jamal, 10 years old, slept fitfully beside him on the couch, his small frame curled tight, drawings abandoned since the kidnapping in Part 5. The house was a fortress now, doors locked, windows dark, cops circling outside after the raid that took Lena. Social media roared. Tate killer trending, threats to Jamal, burn their house, slurs from Part 2 reborn. Holt's fundraiser toast from Part 10, fallen heroes, looped on TV, his tie crisp while Marcus's world bled. The email leak had sparked hope, donations, support, but Holt flipped it, framing a black couple for a ghost crime, Carter alive somewhere, laughing. Marcus's phone was dead, battery drained, no word from Denise, fed silent. Kyla dodging his pleas for proof. He held Jamal, whispering, "Mom's coming home." A vow more than a lie. The shop's ashes from Part 7, Raise ICU tubes from Part 9, Lena's cuffs. Holt carved deeper each time. But Marcus wasn't done. He kissed Jamal's forehead, easing him to Lena's sister, 5 miles out by dawn. Miss Evelyn watched him go, her wheelchair creaking, eyes sharp. "Get her," she said. Marcus nodded, throat tight, and drove back 90 miles an hour, heart set. He'd break Lena out. The precinct was 5 miles away, a brick hulk under Holt's thumb, but Marcus knew it. Years fixing cop cars gave him backdoor keys, schedules, blind spots. He parked a mile off at dusk, hood up, July air cooling to 88 degrees, and crept through alleys, sweat stinging his eyes. His plan was wild. Sneak in, grab files proving Carter's alive, force a release. But Lena's eyes in that. Cruiser drove him. He hit the precinct's rear lot at 10, shadows thick, a janitor's door ajar from lazy locks. Marcus slipped inside, boots silent on tile, air reeking of coffee and ink. The evidence room was 2 floors up, unguarded at shift change. He'd watched it years ago, unnoticed. He climbed stairs, pulse roaring, every creak a cop's step. At 10:15, he hit the room. Filing cabinets, dust, no cameras, Holt's. Arrogance his edge. Marcus rifled drawers, hands shaking, and found it. Carter's duty log, signed yesterday, alive, no knife, no blood. Another file, Rawls's memo. Tate frame, stage Carter hit. His stomach flipped. Proof Holt rigged. It all. He stuffed the papers in his jacket, adrenaline surging, and bolted downstairs, picturing Lena free, Jamal smiling. He hit the holding cells at 10:30, a guard dozing, keys dangling. Marcus swiped them, breath held, and found Lena, 3rd cell, orange jumpsuit, eyes wide as he whispered her name. She gripped the bars, fierce despite exhaustion. "You're crazy," she said, but smiled. He unlocked the door, her arms around him, warm, real. They ran hand in hand through the back exit, no alarms yet, night cloaking them. Marcus drove 5 miles home, 90 miles an hour, Lena beside him, sobbing, "You did it." Charges dropped by midnight. Denise pushed the files to Kyla, who broke the story. Carter alive, Tate framed. Social media flipped. Shut and free Lena. Trending, 5,000 likes by one. Clips of Marcus's old protest in Part 2 remixed with the log. Crowds rallied outside the precinct by 2, 300 strong, chanting, "Holt lies." Marcus held Lena, Jamal back from Evelyn's, all 3 on the couch, TV blaring the win. Donations hit $10,000 by dawn, strangers vowing to rebuild. Marcus felt untouchable, Holt's frame shattered, Westbridge waking. He kissed Lena, whispering, "We're done running." She nodded, eyes bright, and they planned a new march, bigger, bolder, for Trayvon, his brother, every lost name. Then 8 in the morning brought hell, a hum overhead, sharp, mechanical. Marcus stepped outside, air sticky at 92 degrees, and saw it, a drone black buzzing low, crashing through their roof in a fireball of gas. Smoke choked the house, green haze burning his lungs. Lena coughing blood beside him, Jamal screaming. Marcus grabbed them, stumbling out, eyes streaming. Chemicals, not just fire, Holt's new blade. They hit the lawn, gasping, neighbors running. Phones up. The house smoldered, windows blown, but no flames spread, targeted, precise. Marcus checked Lena, Jamal, alive, coughing, blood on their lips but breathing. He looked up, drone gone, sky clear, rage swallowing fear. Then sirens wailed, not for him. 5 miles off, Jamal's school locked down, Holt's deputies searching for bombs, news choppers circling. Marcus drove there 90 miles an hour, Lena beside him, Jamal shaking in the back. The schoolyard was chaos. Parents screaming, cops barring gates, kids inside trapped. A deputy smirked, radio crackling. Tate's fault. Marcus lunged, shouting Jamal's name, but Lena pulled him back, eyes fierce. "He's safe inside," she lied. Voice breaking. News hit. Holt on radio, 5 miles away, calling Marcus a terrorist, tying the drone to Tate's chaos. Social media turned, parents blaming Marcus. He brought this, old slurs from Part 2, deepfake clips reborn. Marcus stood in the lot, fists clenched, watching cops strut, neighbors shun him. Miss Clara turned away, head low. The rally's fire, Lena's freedom, ashes now, donations frozen, crowd gone, Trayvon's name drowned out. Marcus called Kyla, begging a story, but her line died. Scared off, maybe. He checked his phone. Holt's voice looped. Westbridge needs order. No mention of Carter's log. The governor's silence from Part 1 rang loud. Where was that call now? Marcus held Lena, Jamal between them, vowing to fight, but the drone's hum lingered in his ears. School gates locked, Holt's shadow everywhere. The breakout was his blade, Lena free, frame exposed, but Holt struck back. Chemical war, kids. Lives as pawns. Marcus felt Westbridge choke him, Holt not just hunting but crushing. As cops circled, a chill hit. How do you stand when the sky itself turns on you? Marcus Tate stood in his Westbridge kitchen, the Alabama dusk cooling to 89 degrees, July's heat lingering in the walls battered by Part 11's drone attack. Green gas stains scarred the ceiling, windows shattered, air still sharp with chemical burn 2 days later. Jamal, 10 years old, sat silent at the table sketching grey lines, his school 5 miles away locked down by Holt's deputies, searching for bombs, parents shunning Marcus since the chaos. Lena scrubbed blood from her shirt, hers, his. Jamal's from coughing fits after the crash, her eyes fierce but tired. Holt's radio smear from Part 11, Tate's a terrorist, looped online, Westbridge swallowing it, Trayvon's rally dead, donations frozen. The breakout in Part 11 freed Lena, exposed Deputy Carter's alive status, but Holt flipped it, drone strike, school siege, Marcus a pariah. Social media churned, Tate terror trending, threats piling up. Kill the thug's kid. His phone was dead, Kyla silent, feds useless. Holt's shadow owned the town, each hit, deep fake in Part 2, kidnapping in Part 5, arson in Part 7, bomb in Part 8, deadlier, sharper. But Marcus wasn't done. Lena gripped his hand, whispering, "End him." Marcus nodded, picturing Rawls, Holt's deputy from the warehouse trap in Part 6, spotted at the rally in Part 8. He'd trap Rawls, force a confession, Holt's whole game on tape. Marcus called Ray out of ICU 30 miles away in Birmingham, voice weak but steady. "Need a lure," Marcus said. Ray hacked Rawls's burner by noon, texts bragging about the drone, Tate's kid next. Marcus's stomach twisted. Jamal again. He set the bait, a fake tip to Rawls's phone, Tate's fleeing quarry tonight. The quarry was 10 miles out, a gravel pit, abandoned, perfect. Marcus drove Jamal to Miss Evelyn's, 5 miles. Away, her sister's place too close now, kissing him goodbye, vowing, safe this time. Lena stayed home, guarding, shotgun by the door. Nurse turned soldier. He hit the quarry at 9, 90 degrees still, air thick with dust. A recorder. Taped to his chest, Ray's laptop streaming to Denise. Marcus hid behind a rusted crane, heart pounding, waiting. Rawls rolled up at 10, alone, cruiser lights off, badge glinting, smirk wide. Marcus stepped out, hands up, voice steady. "Tell me everything." Rawls laughed, pulling a gun, but Marcus lunged, wrestling it free, pinning him in gravel, knee on his throat. "Talk, or I snap it," Marcus growled, recorder rolling. Rawls choked, spilling. Holt's orders from the start. Deepfake, raid, sniper, drone, even the governor's call in Part 1, a staged flex to dodge heat. "He owns Westbridge," Rawls rasped. "Council, feds, all paid." Marcus's blood boiled. Holt's chess, every move rigged. He tied Rawls with his own cuffs, gravel biting his knees, and sent the confession to Denise by 11. She leaked it to Kyla, who broke it at midnight. Livestream, Holt's deputy confesses all, 10 million views by 1. Social media. Flipped. Holt falls trending. Rawls's voice naming dates. Hits. Trayvon's shooting a Holt cover-up. Feds swarmed Westbridge by 2. Vans screeching. Agents cuffing precinct brass. Holt's office raided on live TV. Papers flying. His chair. Empty. Marcus drove home 90 miles an hour, dawn breaking. Lena hugging him, tears hot. "Career's toast," she said, watching Holt's badge trend as gone. Marcus exhaled, feeling Westbridge crack. Donations hit $20,000. By 6, strangers vowing justice. He held Lena, believing it. Holt cornered, Rawls singing, Trayvon's name rising. Then 8 in the morning brought a scream. His phone, a live stream link, no sender. Marcus tapped it, heart stopping. Jamal, tied again, face bruised. Holt's voice off screen. Surrender, Tate, or he dies. The feed showed a quarry edge, gravel dust swirling, Holt's silhouette pacing, gun glinting. Marcus's knees buckled. Jamal, taken from Evelyn's, 5 miles not far enough. Lena gasped, shotgun trembling. How? Marcus pictured Holt's escape, slipped feds, grabbed Jamal, turned the trap back. He called Denise, voice breaking. He's got him. She promised FBI, but her tone faltered. Holt's ghost moved fast. Marcus drove to the quarry, 90 miles an hour. Lena beside him, shotgun loaded, sun scorching at 93 degrees. He hit the pit at 9, dust choking, spotting Holt 50 yards off, Jamal kneeling, rope tight. Holt shouted, "Drop it!" "Tate!" Marcus froze, hands up, Lena aiming from the truck. Holt grinned, gun to Jamal's head. Live stream still rolling, thousands watching. Marcus edged closer, whispering, "Let him go." Holt laughed, "You lose." Then tires screeched. Feds, late, guns drawn, shouting, "Down!" Holt bolted, shoving Jamal, vanishing into a ditch as agents fired, missing. Marcus ran, cutting. Jamal free, hugging him. Tears mixing with dust, Lena sprinting over, shotgun down. Jamal sobbed, "He hit me." Bruises fresh, rope burns raw. Feds swarmed, useless. Holt gone, quarry empty, live stream cut. Marcus held his family, pulse roaring, news choppers circling by 10. Social media split. Half cheered Marcus. Mon Tate hero trending. Half spat. Holt's right. Tate's trouble. The town fractured. Donations paused. Feds floundering. Trayvon's echo fading. Marcus checked news. Holt spotted in Mexico, 500 miles south, vowing revenge on tape. The confession burned Holt's career, but he'd slipped the noose. Jamal's life his last card. Marcus drove home 5 miles, Lena beside him, Jamal shaking in the back. Holt's voice from part 1 rang, "Governors call a lie, all theater." The showdown was Marcus's blade, Rawls's truth, Holt's fall. But Holt struck back, kidnapping Jamal, fleeing untouchable. Social media churned. Threats, praise, Westbridge torn. Marcus locked the doors, Lena's hand in his, Jamal between. Them vowing to stand, but as choppers faded, a chill hit. Holt was free, plotting, a ghost with a grudge. How do you kill a shadow that owns the board? Marcus Tate stood in his Westbridge kitchen, the Alabama morning cooling to 87 degrees. July's heat easing as dawn painted the sky gold. It was 5 days since Part 12's quarry showdown, trapping Deputy Rawls for a confession that torched Holt's career, only to see Chief Vernon Holt kidnap Jamal again, livestream his ransom demand, then slip feds into a ditch, fleeing to Mexico with a vow of revenge. The house bore scars. Green gas stains from the drone in Part 11, shattered windows, a couch still reeking of chemicals. Jamal, 10 years old, sat at the table, sketching with shaky hands, his second kidnapping leaving bruises on his wrists, fear in his eyes since Part 5's first snatch. Lena brewed coffee, her nurse scrubs swapped for a tank top, her cough lingering from the gas, but her grip on Marcus's hand was iron. Holt's escape split Westbridge, half-cheered Marcus. No, Tate hero. Trending half-spat venom, troublemaker, threats piling up online. Tate must pay. Slurs from Part 2 reborn. Rawls's confession. Holt's orders for the deepfake, raid, sniper, drone, even Trayvon's covered-up shooting. Hit 10 million views, feds raiding the precinct. But Holt was a ghost, 500 miles south, untouchable. The shop's ashes from Part 7. Ray's ICU scars from Part 9. Lena's cuffs from Part 10. Holt's hits carved deep, but Marcus stood tall. Social media buzzed. Donations paused at $20,000 after the quarry. Strangers vowing justice. A senator. Silent since Part 8's rally. Marcus sipped coffee, picturing Holt's Mexico smirk, Rawls's cuffed confession, and felt the fight shift. He'd rebuild, louder, for Trayvon, his brother, Jamal. Lena nodded at his phone. "Start it." He called Ray, 30 miles away, in Birmingham, voice stronger post-ICU. "Crowdsource," Marcus said. Ray set up a page by noon, $25,000 poured in by dusk, strangers typing, for Tate's shop, Holt's done. Marcus scouted a new lot, 5 miles from the old ashes, a brick shell with good bones, cheap rent. He signed the lease at 3, hands steady, picturing wrenches humming, Jamal safe. Lena taped flyers, grand opening in a week. Tate's auto unbroken. Westbridge whispered. Some sneered. Thugs back. Others dropped oil cans as gifts. Marcus worked late, 90 degrees at night, framing walls with Ray, who limped but grinned. Holt's toast. By Friday, the shop stood. 2 bays, fresh paint, a sign Jamal painted. Dad's place. Red letters, bold. Marcus felt the tide turn. Holt gone, feds sniffing Mexico, Trayvon's name flickering online. Social media flipped. Tate rises trending. Clips of his Part 2 protest remixed with the shop's rise. A preacher, Amos from Part 8, called for a vigil. Not a march, 300 strong. Set for Saturday at the new lot. Candles for Trayvon. No fists, just light. Marcus slept that night. Lena beside him. Jamal between, dreaming of his brothers. Laugh a shop alive. Saturday dawned, 89 degrees, air thick but hopeful. The vigil hit at 6, 300 bodies packing the lot, candles flickering, kids on shoulders, elders humming hymns. Marcus stood by the bays, Lena's hand in his, Jamal waving his sign, Dad won. Amos prayed, voice deep, naming Trayvon, Marcus's brother. Every Westbridge kid lost to badges. 5, 10, too many. A black reporter, Kyla from Part 5, filmed live, her stream hitting 50,000 views by 7. Marcus spoke, no mic, voice raw. Holt ran, but we're here, this shop's ours. Cheers rose, soft but strong, candles glowing, Westbridge breathing. Social media lit up. Vigil for Trayvon trending, 1 million likes by 8. Strangers typing, Marcus is us. News vans rolled in, calling him Westbridge's heart. A senator tweeting, rebuild stronger. Marcus hugged Jamal, Lena, smiling, feeling whole. Holt's Mexico vow a distant bark. Feds closing in, maybe. The shop hummed next door. First customers booked for Monday. Oil cans stacked, life clawing back. He stood tall, honored, believing it. Peace, at last, a win. Carved from ash. Then 9 brought a buzz. Not crickets, but his phone, a text, no sender. You'll never win. Marcus frowned, pulse spiking, showing Lena. She gripped his arm, eyes sharp. Check it. He stepped to the vigil's edge. 300. Still praying, candles steady, and heard it. A tick faint under the shop's new stage. A plank platform for Amos's prayer. Marcus knelt, sweat beading, 91 degrees now, and saw it. A black box, wires curling, red numbers frozen at 10 seconds. Bomb. His heart stopped. He shouted, run! Voice cracking, crowd scattering, candles dropping, kids screaming. Lena grabbed Jamal, sprinting. Marcus shoving Amos off the stage, gravel biting his knees. 300 fled, 50 yards, 100, breath held. But no blast came. Marcus crept back, hands shaking, and peeked. The timer stuck, a dud, wires. Loose, no boom. He exhaled, legs jelly, crowd murmuring. What happened? News choppers circled, Kyla's stream spiking to 100,000. Tate's vigil bombed? Trending. Marcus stood, dust on his palms, picturing Holt's grin. Mexico didn't. Stop him. Then a crackle split the air, not sirens, but a speaker hidden in the stage. Holt's voice, low, cold. I'm the system. Marcus froze, crowd gasping, phones up, catching every word. You think this ends? I'm bigger than Westbridge. The speaker died, silence thick, vigil shattered. Marcus's stomach twisted. Holt's taunt, a ghost's laugh. 500. Miles away, but here now. Social media erupted. Holt lives trending. Clips of his voice remixed with the dud. Systems king. Half cheered Marcus. He's still fighting. Half jeered. Tate's cursed, threats spiking. Finish him. Kids next. Kyla ran to him, mic shaking. What's it mean? Marcus stared, voice hoarse. He's not alone. Lena gripped his hand, Jamal trembling, candles snuffed out. News hit. Holt in Mexico, yes, but whispers of backers, councilmen from Part 4. Suits beyond Alabama. Money deep, untouchable. The feds stalled. No trace, choppers fading, Westbridge split. Some hugged Marcus. You're enough. Others spat, walking off. Trouble follows. The shop stood unburned, but the Dud's shadow loomed. Donations paused again, strangers typing. Too risky. Marcus locked the lot. 5 miles home, Lena beside him, Jamal in the back, replaying. Holt's words, "I'm the system." The vigil was his light. Shop reborn, Trayvon's name loud. But Holt flipped it, Dud bomber warning, voice a blade, backers a noose. Social media churned. Half saw Marcus as Westbridge's soul, half as its curse, Trayvon's echo fading. He checked news. Holt's Mexico tape looped, revenge soon. No feds in sight. Governor's call from Part 1 a lie. Rawls's confession dust. Marcus sat in the scarred kitchen, Lena unpacking candles, Jamal sketching Holt's face, grey and sharp. He raised his fist, vowing to fight, but whispers spread. Holt's backers ran deeper, counsel to capitals, a web Marcus couldn't see. The dude didn't kill, but Holt's voice did. Hope dangling, rage burning, Westbridge trembling. Marcus held his family, picturing Holt's shadow, and felt the chill. How do you slay a system that owns the fight? Marcus Tate's journey in Westbridge, Alabama, unveils raw truths about resilience, betrayal, and systemic injustice. The first lesson is unyielding perseverance. Marcus faced a racist police chief, Vernon Holt, who wielded power to silence. Him with insults, deepfakes, raids, and bombings, yet Marcus rebuilt each time, from shop ashes to vigil candles, proving grit outlasts oppression. Second, trust's fragility cuts deep. Troy's betrayal, selling Jamal's location, and Holt's untouchable escape to Mexico show how allies and systems can turn, leaving scars no fire can match. Third, racism's roots run beyond one man. Holt's confession via Rawls exposed a web of councilmen and backers, a system that thrives even when its face flees, teaching that the fight isn't just personal, but structural. Fourth, small victories spark hope. The leaked emails, Holt's brief cuffing and community rallies showed Marcus's voice could pierce silence, even if countered by savage reprisals like Jamal's kidnappings and Lena's arrest. Finally, courage costs. Ray's beating, the drone's gas, and a dud bomb under a stage reveal the price of defiance. Yet Marcus's fist stayed raised, a lesson in standing tall when all seems lost. This tale isn't just Marcus's, it's a mirror for anyone battling unjust power, showing that resistance, though battered, plants seeds for change. Holt's taunt, "I'm the system," lingers, but Marcus's fight proves one man can rattle a giant. What's the takeaway? Injustice bends under pressure, but only if we push back together, relentless. So, where do you see Holt's shadow in your world? Comment below if you faced a system that won't break. Hit like if Marcus's stand inspires you. Subscribe for more real stories, and share to spark the fight. Thanks for walking this road with us. May you find strength to face your own giants, unbowed, unbroken.